Welcome to Attican Plays Railway Empire. And let's just go ahead and start running the John Bull. 1, 2. They are a little more expensive, but you get what you pay for in this deal. And 3. We've got fish, we've got apples. So we should start seeing growth. Okay, he's getting some fish now and apples. This Manchester should be growing now. Yes, it is. Okay, good. Now the good news, all these breakdowns we're getting, we'll do a mass update to John Bull's and that'll kind of reset all our trains. We'll have new trains running. Okay, yeah, I gotta get on these employees again. Okay, I think that was everybody. Stop. Let's see, how are we doing on, can we get some more money? We need 5, yeah, let's just go ahead and wait. As soon as we get our, and Manchester growing, would love to get Liverpool growing a little bit too. All right. Here's what we can do for that. We can go ahead and spend a little bit of that money, upgrade this station, run our 2 lines in here, like so, set our switch, and we can start running a line at least from Liverpool to the warehouse. Probably I should have done it the other way around, but let's run a couple of those, and then they can start bringing some supplies back to Liverpool. More mail, more passengers, all good. Okay. Pay off a bond. Okay, we're still in good shape on our schedule. 33, we'd like to be end of 32, so we're good. We'd like to be end of 32 to have a perfect score on this one. And there we go. Liverpool is now growing. Why? Because now they're getting fish and apples. So we got 2 of our cities growing. That's good. We've got the setup ready to have our pass through. Liverpool just went through 20,000. Manchester, they're both growing, so this is all good. And we're going to go to the John Bulls all over here in just a moment. Okay, pay off that bond and open up 2 bigger ones. All right, now we got some money. Now we can go replace all with the John Bull. Now we've got John Bulls running everywhere. That's much better. We've got our 2 cities growing. We've almost, oh, now we've got enough money to go ahead and finish out our pass-through setup. So we're going to have a station, a train station in Leeds. And it will run and hook up into this line. Okay, now what we don't want, we don't want this guy. This one's okay, it doesn't hurt us. Okay. We didn't want that signal because we don't want trains coming down here stopping, blocking the line. It's not a big deal. That one's not a big problem. All right, so now we've got the ability to do our full-blown pass-through. And the reason we want pass-through, we don't want to just run like we got this little line Liverpool to warehouse. We really want it to be the pass-through all the way because we want to be able to move goods. Eventually, we'll get rid of that the meat up here probably because we're already running directly here. We'll get rid of this meat and replace it with a different industry. More than likely textiles, but we'll see how that works out. So this line right here, slow down, this Liverpool to warehouse, we now want to change that to be, we want, well, first of all, my usual thing I forget, we want to have our switch down here. Get rid of that signal that's too far down. All right, so now what we want to do is change this guy's line to say, we also want you to go down here to track 1 and come back to our warehouse. And we want you to be freight only. And we want this guy to be freight only. And go here, and you can go to 2 and back. And you know what? In Leeds, or no, Liverpool, you can go to 4. And then I want to be able to duplicate those guys. So that's 2, 3, 4. Let's run at least 5, at least 6 for now. May have to come back and even bump that up. 6 should be good. All right, so now we've got the ability to take our goods from between all 3 cities, and we've got the ability to deliver our raw materials to all 3 cities. So we should be in great shape to grow all 3 of those cities. How are we looking here? Manchester is growing at 82%. Liverpool is growing at 80%. Remember, we don't have wheat. If we had wheat, we could even make that even stronger. So we just want to watch to see what's the next thing that they're going to need and have that set up and ready to go. So we already see one, beef and then textiles. Okay, great. All right, beef and textiles. The textiles, obviously, we want to get this wool. And Leeds has this business we don't really want anymore. So let's see what we can do. 473. See, kind of costly. It's costly because it's getting supplied by those pigs up there. If it wasn't getting supplied, it would be really cheap. I mean, we could even no. Okay, leads grows. That means it hit 20. We're going to wait till somebody hits 40 to do the tweeds, I think. Yeah. All right. One of our cities has grown. How close are we? Okay, we'll put our tweed industry in are we going to? In Manchester? Yeah, we'll put our tweed in Manchester. And then the question becomes, where do we want to put, how do we want to get it over here? Do we want to put it in the warehouse, which takes up a slot, or do we want to run it directly into our station? And I tell you what, I like the idea of having that tweed business in Leeds. I think. Sorry, I don't mean to bore you to death, but I want to get this right. I want this to be as strong as we can get it. We're almost there. Oh, they need beef. Let's deal with the beef first. We know we want to run beef into our warehouse. So that's an easy one. Beef. We'll just run a couple of trains. I think it's it's a very short line. We'll run a couple of trains. So that takes care of the beef. So just by doing that little bit of work, we've got beef going to all three cities. That's the beauty of this little setup. All right. Beef. Oh, God. We won't be buying that thing. Okay. All right, Manchester, looks like you're our winner, so we might as well get that set up. So how are we going to do this? I guess we're just going to have to bite the bullet and put it in the warehouse. And it won't let us, of course. We're going to have to wait until Manchester hits 40,000, which won't be too long. Station master. Faster processing, you better believe it. Inventor, yes, we'd love to have an inventor. More reliable trains, absolutely. Well, I'm going to go ahead. I know it's coming. We know that's what we want. I'm going to go ahead and set this up in anticipation. And I think the easiest way to get it in there is to run it in like so. flat connections comes in very handy there. Pretty good hill we're making it climb. Let's see if we can improve that. See if we can get this thing down farther. That's better. Those signals definitely have to go. Get out of the way. Okay. More passengers. Okay. How are we looking? Liverpool is still growing nicely. Leeds is growing nicely. Manchester is growing nicely and about to hit the 40. So at the 40, we'll put our, see, no freights, no problem. Breakdown, no problem. Still too, I don't want to go with them. I am going to put maintenance on stations in this one, but not yet. Not yet. Although, you know, we do have some money right this minute, and I don't have any particular thing I want to do. I mean, we could keep growing. Here, well, I said that, and here we go. Now we want to put in this Weaver. It's going to cost us $500,000. How are we looking for money? We're going to save and pay off a bond, and then put it in, and hopefully no one will beat us to it. Now I'm just going to put it in. As soon as I hit 500,000, I'm going to put it in. Okay. We can put it, this should be a good spot over here out of the way. So now we have our weaving industry. Now this should allow us to take in our wool. And we've got our line set, so now we should be able to run our trains. To here. And I want to run 3. Okay. so
The people of
where are
Birmingham
we?
have allowed
We're
themselves
still waiting
to be
on Leeds
convinced
or
by our
Liverpool
recent
to
success,
pop.
and a portion of the way is cleared now.
Oh, here we go.
If we help to establish the industry, it will probably convince even skeptics of other regions.
All right, so, oh, we have to produce tweed in order to move on. All right. And let's just see, I believe we're still blocked to London. Yes, we are. So we need to produce tweed. So we want to bump up that. Our next goal is to bump up that tweed industry we just put in and continue growing these cities. Missing equipment. And we're getting some breakdowns. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead right now. Let's go ahead and put in maintenance in all of our city stations and warehouses. And for, yeah, no, we need one in Hull. There we go. So now we should have a pretty smooth running deal here. Oh, except I'm still missing a supply tower for this Leeds run. And I'm going to put it back here. I would be tempted to put it here so that both these lines could use it, but I'm starting to learn that's not the best way to do it. Get it out of the way. Don't build congestion in here. So all these triangles should start disappearing. Oh, I'm still missing a tower over here too, sorry. We need a tower over here. And there are limited places we can put a tower. Oh, look at this. We've got another industry in Liverpool. And a tailor would be perfecto to use that tweed and keep the demand up. That would be perfect. So a tailor would cost us, oh, it's not even available yet. Oh. Let's see, when, on the supply chain, when do we have to have clothing? 55,000. So we're probably not even going to have the option to build a tailor until Manchester, which is our fastest. Oh, well, look at this. What am I saying? It's almost to 55,000 already. You can see this thing is working. All right, where are we? Producing tweed. We're doing okay on the tweed. How much time we got? 1835, 30. Be 6-3. We want by the end of 1833. So we definitely want to ramp this up. So our first $500,000 will be to improve this production. 0.8. Manchester itself can use 0.5 of it. So okay, so we ramp up production there. And then our next goal is to put in a consumer. And the other thing we can do, we could, no, that's not going to help us. Okay. If this was a warehouse away from that city, we could ship to a warehouse. We could even do that. We could put a warehouse out here somewhere and ship to that warehouse. See, Manchester just hit 60,000. Which means oh, look at this. Somebody put in a tailor. Well, bless you. All right, we'll accept that for now. Private owner put in that tailor, so we don't have to spend that money. And where are we? So now we just have to get this production up, and that'll hit our next goal. And I think this is probably a good place to wrap up this first session. So let's just stop right here and do a little recap. We connected Liverpool and Manchester. We used rapid expansion to get Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, and Hull lined up with ham cider. We connected our apples directly into cider in Manchester and directly into Hull, apples directly into Hull for the other cider. Then we got our pigs going into Liverpool, and we allowed this pig to come in overland for Leeds, and it's worked perfectly well. And then we waited a bit and started our city growth mode and put in a warehouse, a super warehouse right here. Then we ran fish into it and apples. Started growing Manchester. Then we eventually hooked in Liverpool and started running some goods over to Liverpool. And as we got enough money, we connected and finished up our full pass-through. So we've got a pass-through going from Leeds to the warehouse to Liverpool back to the warehouse. We've hooked in beef into that. When we hit 40,000, we opened up a tweed manufacturer in Manchester. Brought our wool in across like this into our freight line going into the warehouse, so we can get wool into the warehouse for the tweed industry. And the computer was nice enough to open a tailor for us, so we've got another consumer for our tweed going this way. So Liverpool and Manchester are both consuming tweed, and let's see if Leeds should be as well. Yes, and Leeds is as well. So we've all three cities in our cluster are going to be consuming, so we can bump up this tweed. So our next goal is to get the tweed production up. We'll do that by bumping up the production there, and we're off to a really good start. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll join us for our next installment. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player, and I hope you'll join us for our next Railway Empire video. Thank you.